Yes?
I'd like to see Mrs. Fairfax. My name is Jane Eyre.
Oh, Miss Eyre, how good to see you. I'm Mrs. Fairfax. Do come in. Is your luggage outside?
With the driver. John is his name?
We'll have him take it to your room as soon as he's stabled the horses. Here, let me help you. How was your trip, dear?
Well, the weather was fine enough, but those hoochies...
No, they are unyielding, that I know. And the moors become very frightening after the sun's gone down. Here, warm yourself for a moment. It's chilly.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're glad it's over.
Will I meet the child tonight?
Adele? No, she's been asleep for hours. But she'll be happy to have such a young governess. It'll be a treat for me, too, to have some company. Mr. Rochester is away most of the time, and the winter evenings can be very lonely.
Mr. Rochester?
He's the owner of Thornfield. Adele is his ward, and I'm the housekeeper. Oh, you'll get to know us all soon enough. Shall I take you to your room now? Oh, that sickly fire. Well, I've done my best. John will build it, and then we'll have tea together when you're settled.
But what was that? Outside, I thought it was the wind. But someone laughing. There.
Oh, you mustn't mind that, dear. Your room is on this floor and in another wing. Very quiet all the time.
But who is it? It makes a sound like that.
Just Grace Poole, one of the servants.
Grace Poole?
Yes, she's very strange sometimes, but a good enough sort, really.
There's something wrong about that laugh.
Oh, you won't see much of her. Come along now, dear.
Mrs. Fairfax.
Follow me, won't you, Jane?
Now, you see how the coastline curves inward? That means a bay with a fine harbor. And it's what makes Falmouth such an important shipping town. Shall we go inland, Adele, and learn about some of the other cities?
Suppose.
We only speak English, Adele, remember?
But it tires me because I have to plan each floor.
Oh, that won't be true for long.
Mr. Rochester does not mind when I speak French to him. He's never here, of course. He brings me from Paris to this great castle. Then leaves me alone.
It isn't a castle, Adele.
It is very big.
Oh, Mr. Rochester owns much land. He's a gentleman.
Not so gentle sometimes, like a bear sometimes.
What's this?
Why is he never here, Mr. Rochester?
As you can see, we've finished our lesson.
Oh, I didn't like to interrupt you, but I need some more ink for my letter.
Now run along, Adele, and we'll start again tomorrow.
We have a holiday. Come quickly.
Dinner will be in an hour.
I'll be quite ready.
Her English has certainly improved in the month that you've been here.
She's a quick enough child.
I wish we knew a little more about her. Really, all I'm sure of is that she's an orphan. Tragic.
Difficult sometimes. I never considered myself a figure of tragedy.
You, Jane?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Lowood Institution took me when my parents died. And I stayed there as a charity child and finally a teacher until I saw your advertisement.
I'm happy it was you who answered the advertisement.
Thank you.
There. That will do. And John can take it down in the morning.
To the village? Oh, please let me. This country's so lovely with rolling hills and thorn trees. And I've just been longing for an excuse to be out there.
I hope you're really as happy with us as you appear at this moment.
I am. I like this house and the child. And you.
You're a direct young lady, aren't you?
There's just one thing I can't relax to.
Yes?
It's Grace Poole.
She's hardly ever in this part of the house. I don't see how she's troubled you.
It's the sound she'll make. Wild sometimes, like a jungle creature. And then low and softly other times. And yet it echoes through these halls with such a chilling flavor. I think that's when it frightens me the most.
Dear child.
And yet she appears so quiet when I see her. I just can't reconcile that modest appearance with those abandoned noises.
I told you she's a little strange. I can't explain it any further.
And I can't dismiss it quite so easily. There's something savage there that won't be contained forever. There's a dark threat in every sound that woman makes. Tragedy, disaster.
Dear Jane.
Isn't there something, Mrs. Fairfax, you haven't told me about her?
Jane, you'll have very little time if you want to get to the village while it's daylight.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
I'll keep your dinner warm for you.
Thank you.
Grace, there must be less noise. You must remember your instructions.
The house of Mr. Rochester.
You know him?
No, I've never seen him, sir.
That isn't a servant's uniform.
Oh, I'm the governess, Jane Eyre.
Oh, yes. The governess. I'd forgotten. No, I'll manage.
Lean on me. I'm stronger than you think. Please let me help you.
Comment vas-tu?
Très bien, merci, monsieur.
Heureuse de me voir?
Très heureuse.
Mr. Rochester, how good to see you, sir.
Be still, pilot. Quiet, boy.
Qu'est-ce qu'il t'arrive?
You're hurt. Let me guide you.
Non. Attends. Que je te montre ce que je t'ai apporté.
Oui, montre-moi.
What happened?
He fell from his horse and I helped him down the hill.
It's lucky you were near.
Didn't tell me who he was.
It's hard to know what he will do sometimes, or his reasons for doing it. He's unpredictable, unsettled, like a storm. Forgive me, he may be hungry.
Like a storm.
How long has that girl been here?
Jane? Just a month, sir.
Who recommended her?
I advertised as you instructed, sir, and it was Jane who answered. I'm thankful every minute that she did.
Don't bother to give her a reference. I'll judge for myself. Send her in. And bring a tray here. I'll have my supper by the fire.
What would you like me to tell the tenants? Some of them are very anxious to see you.
Clear up this room. I'll see him tomorrow.
And a few of your friends would like to know when you're back. Lady Ingram in particular.
Make preparations for a small party. I'll give you a list tomorrow.
Yes.
Anything else?
A stranger.
Stranger?
Yes, sir. He came around about 3 weeks ago and has been back several times since.
He's been waiting 3 weeks?
Wouldn't tell me his business. So his name was Mason. From the West Indies. Spanish town in Jamaica, I think he said.
Why didn't you tell me at once?
I didn't know it was important, sir. And the excitement of your coming back.
Yeah, well, he didn't give you anything else but his name.
No, and that he was from Jamaica. Nothing else, sir. But I suppose you'll see him soon enough. He'll be round, I expect, to find out if we've heard anything from you.
Well, you may leave me now.
Sure you feel quite well.
Do you hear me?
move. I'll get it for you. I understand you wish to see me, sir. But if it's a bad moment, Does it hurt very badly? Here. Please, Leslie. You should take the boot off, you know. Anyway, keep your foot elevated. I become quite lofty when I know I'm right.
Speak to me. I want to learn about you.
Speak to you, sir? About what?
Everything you like. Now speak. Well?
I wouldn't introduce a topic. Perhaps you'd like to know about my training or my references.
No. How do you get on with Adele?
Pleasantly. She's a bright and affectionate child.
You must know the truth. Her mother was a French opera dancer. They say that Adele is mine.
I see.
It isn't true. But she'd been abandoned while I was in Paris, and I took a liking to the child. I brought her back here where she can grow up clean.
I'm honored by your confidence, and I'll not betray it.
You'll not be thinking differently about Adele? You won't come to me shortly with your notice.
Well, Mother's faults aren't her affair. I like her better now, and I hope she'll cling more close to me like a friend.
Do you, Jane?
Were you testing me, sir?
We'll go along now. I'll want an early bed tonight. Tomorrow will be full. Very full for me.
Good night, sir.
Was he harsh to you, dear?
A little, but I think that's his way. I shan't mind it in the future.
You're quick to see that.
There's something splendid there.
Yes. That's very true.
Certain darkness, though. He seems to talk out of some great suffering. Mrs. Fairfax, why does he spend so little time at Thornfield? What drives him from his home?
Excuse me, this is heavy.
I always put off asking till the last. How is she?
Nothing's changed. We're all a little more aware of the noise she makes because Jane hears it. She wonders.
It may not be a secret much longer.
Why not?
Mason is her brother. Kept the truth behind these walls for 15 years. I've never wanted more desperately that it should remain hidden. What are you doing?
Taking the child's doll up to her. She was much too tired tonight to go to sleep easily. Perhaps you'd like to say goodnight to her.
Examine me. You find me handsome?
No, sir. You didn't give me time to plan a tactful answer.
You would speak the truth. You're cast in a different mold. I could tell that right away.
Sir?
I'm not handsome, and you're not beautiful. I've had too much brandy.
I must put Adele to bed now.
Are you afraid of me?
No. But I truly don't understand you. So much you have, so very fortunate you are, and yet it's clear you're not happy. Why is there need for so much brandy?
Don't look down on me, Jane Eyre. With your clear eyes and unpolluted conscience. I was as clean as yourself once.
Your thoughts so terrible now that you have to hide from them like this.
Don't look down on me. I couldn't help what I did. Don't look down on me.
I'll get a footman. He'll help you to your room.
I don't need one. I don't need anyone. I reach inside myself for the things I need. I climb those stairs. Or to stand alone and curse the laws of heaven.
What are you saying?
I know what I've got a right to. And I mean to take it. I'll take it if it's the blackest thing on earth. I'll take it.
I don't understand you at all.
Oh, quite. You know nothing of what goes on in my brain when I'm alone. You know nothing of love or hate. You know nothing of life's problems. And yet you can speak to me of right and wrong.
I said nothing of these, sir. Must be your own thoughts.
Huh? Mine?
Some terrible war in yourself between right and wrong. You thrust on everyone around you.
Huh. You're always logical and sure in your mind. Lifeless in your heart.
Please let me go.
Heart's alive. There's coldness about you.
You're not yourself, sir. Please let me pass.
My mind drinking and temper are lies, too. That isn't me. I have a heart, and it wants to open, to receive, and to give.
Sure you wouldn't have me hear this?
Someday you'll know what I'm saying is true. And then your life will begin. As for me, how many times must I return to this dungeon? Tired of the search for love. Too full of hate to find it.
What do you hate? And why must you always leave?
I've no right to do this to you. Try to forgive me. And try to forget what I said. Now get along to ETHEL now.
Mr. Rochester.
Get along. I'll get to my room alone. Later.
Who's there? Who's out there? There's smoke. Wake, sir!
What's the matter? Are you trying to drown me?
Someone tried to do you great harm.
What brought you?
There's a feeling outside the corridor when I heard a scratching sound. Someone laughing. The smoke led me right in here.
I want to go out for a while. Now lock the door after me, and don't leave this room.
Mr. Rochester!
Do you hear me? Whatever happens, do not move out of this room. Lock the door, Jane. Lock the door.
Miracle he wasn't burned alive.
Mrs. Fairfax.
Jane, dear, did you hear of this awful thing?
I did.
So dangerous to keep a candle by the bed. Might have known that he would fall asleep and leave it burning.
Is that what he told you?
What a blessing he woke up in time. Had the quickness to run to the basin.
Doesn't it strike you as odd that no one heard him move about? No one heard anything.
Well, the servants sleep so far away, you know. Did you hear a sound?
I heard a laugh, Mrs. Fairfax, a very strange one. It was Grace Poole, and she tried to kill him. She tried to destroy the owner of this house, a strong and lordly man. And he hasn't even got the courage to accuse her. What does this woman have? What power does she hold?
They need me in the kitchen. I must go now.
You tell me yourself, or I'll ask Mr. Rochester.
No. You take my counsel and stay away from him today, young lady. He's busy with the tenants, and then there's a party this evening, and he needs some enjoyment. You mustn't spoil the little that he can have.
Are you troubled about something, or only being tiresome?
Forgive me, Lady Ingram. I've been waiting for someone.
Oh? I've been waiting a number of months for you. I'm not sure now just why.
We'll drink to our reunion, Blanche.
You plan to set things right now with the notorious Rochester charm.
I plan to make a valiant try.
I feel so awkward. Are you sure you wanted me here?
You were on the list, dear.
Ladies all look so lovely in their clothes.
You look lovely, too, Jane. I must go and see to the refreshments.
Jane, have you got something to drink?
No, sir,
I'll show her.
do.
Blanche?
You told me you were waiting for someone. Jolly, but she's arrived. I don't understand.
Don't try. Go out on the balcony. I'll bring some wine. I haven't had a chance to thank you properly for what you did last night. Have you mentioned it to anyone?
Not that I put out the fire.
Good.
I told Mrs. Fairfax that I heard Grace Poole.
Grace Poole.
The sound of laughing.
Oh. Grace Poole, yes.
Forgive me, sir, but I cannot understand why you passed over that incident. She tried to kill you.
You seem concerned.
I know it's no concern of mine. But there are innocent people in this house, a child among them. And that woman is seriously deranged.
I'll manage things my own way, Jane.
But she might try to harm you again. She oughtn't to be allowed in this house one more second.
Your anxiety isn't warranted, but I'm grateful. Now, let us drink to your health, Jane.
The mason has just come in, sir.
Thank you.
Is anything wrong, sir? Lost all color. Do you feel all right?
Look into the ballroom, will you, Jane? Do you see a man waiting there?
Yes, sir.
The people close by. They look as though they're hearing anything strange.
The man standing alone. Everybody else is dancing.
Jane, tell me, if all those people came over in a body and spat at me, what would you do?
You'd turn them out of the room. I could.
But if they only looked at me and whispered and then walked away again, would you follow them?
No, sir. I'd stay here with you.
To comfort me?
As best I could. I'd do the same for any of my friends. To earn my loyalty.
Mason?
Oh. How good to see you again. What a splendid home. I hadn't realized.
You see I have guests.
I do, of course. What if I might spend a short while with her? It's been so long, you know.
I'll take you up there. So I'll have to come right back. Let me warn you to keep a good distance. And don't turn your back. Don't look away for an instant. Sir?
Jane, dear, aren't you coming into the party?
I wish I didn't have to.
Why, dear?
Music, everyone laughing. I find it very painful.
Mr. Rochester wouldn't be pleased.
Doubt he'd notice. He has the Lady Ingram.
What troubles you? You look as if you almost meant to cry.
Frightened, Mrs. Fairfax.
Afraid of what?
Something in this house, perhaps. Something in myself.
Oh, Jane, dear. Won't you tell me what it is exactly?
I've never had a very pleasant life, but it's always been simple. I've lived in quiet quarters, Mrs. Fairfax. And all I've ever needed to get on was some patience and a little courage. But now I feel I'm being thrown to stormy waters. And no strength I could summon would prevent me being dashed about like straw.
Tell me, Jane.
But it's more than one thing. It's a longing in myself I've never felt before. I don't understand it. Mr. Rochester. Torture in his eyes. And 100 mysteries about this house. Lady Ingram. And Grace Poole. I think more than anything else, it's Grace Poole.
I can't stay here any longer. You should go into the party, too. There's music and dancing in there. And a gypsy fortune teller. That should help you to take away these thoughts.
I need no gypsy to advise me there's disaster coming here. Smell it. Feel it in my throat.
Let's go inside, dear.
Just not sure when it'll begin. Mrs. Fairfax, she's the governess.
Madam?
The parrot creature with no jewelry. She's the governess?
Jane Eyre? Yes, she's the governess to Adele, that's true.
Oh, poor Mr. Rochester. I shall dance with him next time and apologize. It bewildered me, you know. I know he needs a woman of a size and spirit to match his own. And then here's this unexpected little mouse.
She's very good with the child and in her own way, a lady of some quality.
Oh, it isn't possible. I've always thought that governesses were of another race. Another planet, even. My brothers and I used to torture our own with such imagination. Oh. They deserved it for the most part. Thick-witted girls with no morals at all. But one thing I can say for our tribe. They had no illusions about what they were. They knew that they could never step outside their place without a bitter penalty.
Jane. What's this?
I don't feel well. I want to go to my room.
Are you crying?
I tell you, I'm tired. I just want to sleep.
But the party isn't over yet.
It's not a party I'd enjoy. And let me say, I think it was very unthinking of you to have me here.
Unthinking? Is there no room for feeling in your world, Jane?
I don't understand you.
Don't you want to meet some of the gentlemen? Dance with them, perhaps?
That's silly, Mr. Rochester. You employ me in this house.
You are silly.
Why?
To suffer in your loneliness. Wanting love and needing it like any other woman. Making not a single step to meet it when it waits for you.
The Lady Ingram is waiting for you.
fire in her eyes. She's a high metal champion. Do you like her, Jane?
I think she's very handsome.
Do you think we'll make a happy man and wife?
I think that's none of my affair. I think it never will be.
You do abandon me so freely.
Sorry.
And for the strangest people, for the governess. Yes, I inquired. She is the governess, isn't she? And for that mysterious tall gentleman, the late arrival.
Forgive me, Blanche. I'm back to stay now.
Whatever were you saying to him to look so fierce? Why did you take him out so quickly?
Tell me, Blanche, if that gentleman told everyone in this room that things so terrible that they all went away and never came back again, would you stay with me?
I'd want to know what he told them, of course.
Would you stay with me? Even if everyone might shun you for it forever.
I say it would depend on the reason.
Poverty. Supposing I told you I'd lost my fortune, that I was penniless.
Oh, dear. And I'd laugh, because you'd be joking, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
She looked so peaceful. I didn't know she had a knife.
Careful.
I took it from her. She used her nails and teeth.
Be quiet, man.
She said she'd drain my heart.
Start the music again. It's only an accident, ladies and gentlemen. Carry on with the party. This man will be quite all right.
Have your coffee here, sir.
The cook has your breakfast waiting.
Yes, sir.
Is John gone for the doctor?
Yes, he went down very early. Ought to be back at any time.
Mason was a fool. I warned him not to turn his back.
Well, he hasn't seen her for so many years. Perhaps he didn't know how much worse she'd become.
I had a claw at him. He should have struck her down at once.
Perhaps it was hard for him to strike a woman.
Ha-ha. Jane. You don't look well.
I didn't sleep well last night. I had a frightful dream.
Yeah?
I think it was a dream.
Oh.
A woman came into my room. Someone I've never seen before.
Tell me.
I went upstairs last night. I was tired. I lay down without even removing my clothes. I remember the light of a candle on my pillow. And I turned around and I saw a face. It had to be a bad dream. There couldn't be a face like that outside of a nightmare.
What happened?
If it was a dream, it ended there. Or I fainted.
Well, it was a dream, of course. But you shouldn't be having nightmares. It might comfort you to sleep with Adele for a while. And I'll have another boat put up on your door.
That won't be necessary if it was a dream.
I wish it done.
I'll go with you.
Jane.
Was it a dream then?
Yes. Are you still afraid?
I'm not afraid for myself. I plan to leave here today.
Jane.
I must.
You promised me you wouldn't.
It's clear that Lady Ingram doesn't like me.
This is still my house.
And there's a mystery in your house, a secret, dark and threatening your life, and I cannot watch it. Always watching, never sharing. I won't bear that kind of pain without a reason.
If I tell you that you have a reason, why your fear for my life is so urgent, why your hatred of that fortune hunter is so strong, why you look at me now through tears. If I say that you love me, Jane.
You know more about these things than I do. If it's true, I ask your forgiveness and your pity. But I plan to leave here.
Pity? I'm at your feet. I have been from the moment I put my hand on your shoulder. And your spirit, rather than your strength, your brave, persevering spirit, guided us home to Thornfield. I love you, Jane.
Lady Ingram.
I tried to pierce your iron-protected little heart with jealousy. It was cruel and clumsy, but I have no skill now. I can only say that I love you more than anything else in life.
I understand my longing for you now. I never dreamt that such few words could bring such peace. But I wish I knew the suffering in your eyes, the torture.
Finish it for me, Jane. Marry me.
Is this your plan?
Keep quiet, Mason.
Mr. Rochester can never marry you or any other woman.
Get out, quickly.
He has a wife.
Get out.
Locked up in a room upstairs where she's been living 15 years.
Is it true? Is it true?
Yes, it's true. Come with me. You must know the truth.
Don't take her up there. Are you mad?
Come with me if you love me. If you have a shred of faith in me, come with me and see for yourself.
Why are we here? I don't understand.
This is my wife. Insane for 15 years. Look at her. The gentle hands, the loving eyes, the music in her voice. Tell me that heaven expects me to cherish it all for a lifetime. Tell me that I'm not allowed to love because I'm married to this savage. Look at her. This savage who's trying to kill me now. Jane, don't leave me! Come back! Don't leave me, Jane!
I'd like John, Mrs. Fairfax, to help me with my trunk and take me to the village.
Why, what's happened, Jane? You look so strange.
I was just presented to the lady of the house.
Oh.
Did you think you could keep a thing like that a secret from me always?
We've kept it from his friends and neighbors for 15 years.
But I live here. I was bound to learn the truth.
Do you think you know the whole truth, Jane? You don't.
I know it's his wife who makes those hideous cries at night. Grace Poole is only her guardian.
Tell me what prompted him to take you up there.
He had no choice. Mason told me the truth when Mr. Rochester asked me to marry him.
He asked you to marry?
Yes. How could he do that?
Do you know how painful loneliness can be?
Yes, I know it very well.
Then pity him more deeply. He's weary of this torment. He saw a chance of happiness. Can't you pardon him for trying to seize it?
You're dressed for a journey.
I'm leaving as quickly as John can take me.
We get something to clean up those marks.
She's secure now. We tied her.
I've been told I should pity you. Perhaps I do. But you had no right to speak to me of love.
Right. Wrong. Those are cloudy things. You were the light. I reached up for the light.
What would that have made me? What would I have become?
Can you believe me? I couldn't help myself.
Your wife can't help her madness.
If you were mad, would I love you any less? I'd hold you in my arms, not a set of chains. You would need no other guardian, no
or nurse.
But you married that woman. You loved her, I imagine. Like you think you love me.
I hardly even knew her. Listen to me, Jane.
Nothing you can say will stop me now. I mean to leave.
Not hating me like this. You must know the truth.
You'd marry me and leave your legal wife a prisoner? Is there more to know than that?
Yes, Jane. Please. Please. I was scarcely older than yourself when I took Bertha Mason for a bride. It was plotted between her family and my father.
Plotted?
Yes, plotted. My father was a grasping, avaricious man. He couldn't bear to have his estate divided. Neither could he bear to have one of his sons poor. So immediately I left school, I was sent to Jamaica.
And you met her there?
She was courted for me in advance. My father was a close friend of old Mason's. We learned from him that she'd have a fortune of £30,000. That sufficed. She was shown to me at parties, beautifully gowned, men around her all the time. It was brilliantly arranged. You understand how blind I was? How ignorant of what real love should be.
Yes. Yes, I suppose.
I married her. That was my great sin. I never loved, I never esteemed her, I never even knew her. I learned my error soon enough. My wife and I had not a thought or taste in common. A conversation, everything she turned to something foul. Every evening, her savage temper made an agony for everyone else. I lived with her for 4 years. My father, my brother died. And Bertha, the gluttony of her senses, finally drove her insane. The doctor said I was bound to her. That she could never be divorced.
I pity you. Please go on.
One night I'd been awakened by her yells. And she mingled my name with such a tone of demon hate. I thought I have a right to put an end to this if I can. I meant to shoot myself. It was a fiery West Indian night. The storm broke. And a breeze came in over the water. A sweet wind from England. It whispered to me what I should do.
You brought her here?
Yes. And hired Gray's pool to keep her in that room. A room she'd made for 10 years, a wild beast den.
What did you do?
I searched for a woman I could love. I thought with all my heart that I had the same rights as any other man.
Did you find such a woman?
Yes. On a frosty afternoon inside a thornfield. I meant to tell her the truth, but I had to hold her first, securely. Her pride and her purity, they frightened me.
What happened?
She's leaving me. Today. Won't you say that you'll be mine?
Can't be yours.
You can say it that easily.
Easy. It's not easy, believe me.
Then stay.
No.
Is it a sin? In the eyes of heaven, is it a sin? No one else would ever know.
I would know.
I could force you to my will. I could crush you with my hands. I would dominate the wild, pure soul that looks out of your eyes. that I love. This that I want for my own. Go now. Get out quickly. Get out.
God bless you. Keep you from harm. Comfort you in your loneliness. I pray you'll comfort me.
It's the same. The same. Jane! Jane!
Driver, stop the coach. I must go back. Stop the coach. Adele. Adele.
I think I've lost her. My doll was burned alive. I dropped her when I was carried out of the burning house.
What happened? How did such a fire begin?
They will not talk about it to me. I only remember when Mr. Rochester carried me down through the flames.
Did everyone get out?
Oh, yes, he went many times back to Eyre. Even the lady.
The lady, Adele.
I didn't know she lived with us. Did you?
Tall with long black hair?
Such air we saw we climbed before the flames on the roof.
Well, what happened, Adele?
She was up on the roof with the candle screaming to everyone, watching. Mr. Rochester went out for her, and then she jumped.
She jumped, Adele, from up there? What happened to Mr. Rochester? Tell me, Adele.
The stairway broke when he came down. Mr. Rochester fell into the fire. He's down with Mrs. Fairfax in the cottage there.
He's not dead, Adele.
Oh, no, but...
Which cottage?
There. But Miss Eyre, he cannot see. He's blind.
Enough. Must my hours be as silent as the dark? Speak. Well, speak to me.
What about, sir? I wouldn't introduce a topic. Would you like to know about my references or training?
Jane.
I heard your call across the miles. The wind carried the cry of your heart to my own.
Leave me, Jane.
Leave you.
I want no pity now.
It wasn't pity that brought me here.
I can offer you nothing.
I need you.
Jane.
I need you. Your heart is great and strong. That's what I want my life to serve. If not as your wife, as your nurse. If not as your nurse, your neighbor. This you can never prevent. Please, let your neighbor help you. Your nurse.
My wife.